And welcome back to Sports Check. On our second part of the interview, we're speaking to Charles Omondi, Technical Director, Kenya Handball Federation, and we're here to talk about the Kenya's chances that's in Cairo for the Africa Olympic Qualifiers. And the men's team is already, they did leave today morning, Jaji has informed me, and they'll be playing Nigeria, Tunisia, as well as Angola in the pool matches. What are the chances? And also, of course, we did cover the team during the 2-week non-residential training, and they were preparing for that particular championship. But also remember that KBC Channel 1 is bringing you the action. That's the Africa Cup of Nations 2023 happening in Cote d'Ivoire. And today, a number of matches, 2 mouth-watering encounters on card, total of 3 actually. And Senegal will be facing Gambia. That's at 5 p.m. and Cameroon later on will play Guinea, and then Algeria, the 2019 winners, against Angola. All the action will be live on KBC Channel 1. But welcome to our discussion here. We're talking about the Kenya Handball. Karibu sana, Charles Omondi.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and great to have you this Monday morning on Sports Check.
Thank you, and good morning, viewers.
Kenya men's chances in the Olympic qualifiers, they did leave today morning for the championship. Has the training that they had and also the preparation, so they're sufficient for them? And what do we hope for? What does Kenya hope for in Cairo?
To start off, first of all, it's very important to note that this time around, I would say that we have really prepared well, and the team had almost a 3 weeks non-residential, and then they went to a residential camp for 1 week. And the combination of the players, we were lucky to have hosted the Eastern Central Club Championship, whereby we were able also to identify those who had been earmarked for the national team. So I'd say that this time around we expect good results, and all the 16 teams that are participating, we are starting on the same the same point, meaning that any of them can qualify for the Olympics. And also Kenya team, we don't count ourselves out. We are there to compete, not just to participate. And I want to believe that they'll give us very good results this time around.
So the Africa Championship, which was in December, at Nyayo, the Eastern Central Africa Championship, acted as a ground for the federation to pick players, right? Was it enough?
Well, I would say it was not the only criteria that was being used, but it was just confirming the probables who had already been picked. Remember, we have a league that runs throughout the year, and we look at the performance of these players. Those who are really consistent and those who are performing very well throughout, these are the ones that have been considered. There are so many factors that the coaches put into consideration before even coming up with the long list to be considered for the national team. So the Eastern Central Club Championship that we had was just one of the ways that would identify the probables.
And maybe at the disposal of Brad Matthews, the head coach, what kind of pool of talent does he have this time?
Well, what we had a technical team comprising of the 2 coaches, and I think they've gelled well. They've done a good job, and they went for a youthful side, which I think is also very okay. As much as they are useful, but we have some more experience. They've been there once or twice, but we want to see what will come out of them. But what I know is that the coaches have done their bit, and they have really selected the best in the nation.
Getting out of the pool, of course, is one of the main targets for Brian Matthews and the squad. But looking at how Kenyan opposition in the group, Angola, Tunisia, and also Nigeria, what will be the chances for Kenya?
Well, I would say that, yes, the pool is a tough pool, because all these teams, all these countries, these are well ranked in the continent. But you see, a championship like this, it's by invitation, meaning that you have qualified, you face the rankings, and you have a probability of qualifying. I remember sometimes back during the All Africa Games, we played Angola, and that time they were at the peak, but they won by only 2 goals. And to me, I think these boys can even do better. So I don't rule them out. Angola, Tunisia being as tough as they are, but I want to believe that our young men now are going to give us good results. One of the advantages that we have in this team, when you look at their age, they've been playing together in school, at the universities. So I would say that the gelling is not an issue. So we just want to see what will happen from the 17th of January. Yes.
Yes, and of course this time around the Kenyans hoped against some of the big names, teams that have always had their way when it comes to making it to the Olympics and major international, let's say the World Championships.
Yeah, you see, surprises are never ruled out. I remember when we went for the beach handball in Tunisia, we went there as underdogs. We lost in the final match. The final match to Tunisia, who are the host and who are the Africa champions. We had drawn, we went for penalties, and that is how we lost. So nobody had actually seen us going to that level, and we got a silver medal. So I don't rule out what our young men are going to do in Cairo, Egypt. Yes.
And of course, how does our past performances inform the Kenya's energy and motivation this time around?
The last time we were in this tournament, we were in Tunisia, and I remember we played Cape Verde, who eventually was in the medal bracket. We played. We lost to Libya by just one score, with only 2 seconds to go. And the way we played Cape Verde also. So I would say that our performances have not been very bad. The only challenge that we have is the frequency, especially for the national team. We've not been very, very regular. The last edition in Egypt, 2 years ago, we did not participate, but we had confirmed that we are going there. So it also demoralized the players, but I love the handballers. They never lose up, they never give up. We explained to them what happened that time. Remember, there was a transition. We didn't have a permanent secretary, I think, or the minister. So it was not possible to authorize the team traveling. And this happened just the last minute after the team had prepared. But I want to believe that the boys, the morale is up. Yes.
That was towards the end of 2022? That's when the men's team failed to travel?
Yes. Yeah. And you see, the Confederation has also considered us because I know we still have a penalty to pay. But given the rapport that we have, we've agreed that let's not deny the players an opportunity to showcase their talent, and that is how we find ourselves there. And you see, in this zone, we are only 3 countries participating. That is, we have Egypt and Rwanda and Kenya. Uganda had applied, but they were told that they are not within the bracket. Their rankings are not within the brackets to be allowed to participate in this tournament. Yeah.
To make it for the Africa Championship,
yes.
What did it require?
First and foremost is the ranking, and also your activities. How active is your federation? How active is your country in terms of sports? And you've seen of late handball, we've really been visible within the continental platform. The other day we were just from Tunisia, where we took our girls, and they did us proud. And before that we hosted the Africa Zone 5 qualifiers. We also went to Tanzania for the women's qualification. So when you look at our activities, I think we deserve to be there. And also remember, about 2 years ago, we had our coaching course, which is the International Handball Federation grading course, whereby about 34 coaches attained level C, and then 32 attend level D. So with these activities, it also increases your ranking within the continent. Yeah.
And of course, I mean, the building capacities of the coaches, Judge, that means that they're expected to channel this particular new expertise to the players and to the sport.
And you see, that is why when you look at our technical bench, we've decided this time, for the first time, let's have 2 coaches who have just qualified, who are in this training. And I really want to thank the National Olympic Committee for this, because they are the ones who sponsored this training. And when you look at the coaches that we took to to Tunisia with the youth and junior. These were all teachers, and they've been with these kids, with the players, and they also qualify. They have the licenses. All of them are license C holders. So the trend now is changing. You see, without licensing now, you cannot sit down, you cannot be the national coach, you cannot participate in the continental championship. So capacity building for the coaches, to me, I think as a country we are on the right track. Yeah.
And of course, how that's a new way of doing it, going for the coaches or people who handle players at the formative ages.
Yeah, and now already we are discussing with the National Olympic Committee to look at the possibilities of having another level D training. And we are targeting teachers. We are targeting teachers because this is our nursery. This is where we get our players. And once they have the right techniques and at that younger age, as they grow up, I think it will be very easy for the coaches to handle. And also we are going back to our national league, whereby we'll say that for you to sit down or for you to be registered as a coach, you need a certain level of international certification. And we'll start with license D. As time goes by, we go to C, and eventually we'll be having license B. So this is one way to ensure that the kind of players that we get, both in the youth and the senior, are players who play more or less like the same system. We are actually trying to have our own system, the Kenyan system of play, and that is why we really advocate for empowering the youth coaches.
Yeah, and of course, when you pick on school teachers, is it just random? You're looking at schools that perform well in handball in national championships.
Actually, it's the performance. When I talk about school teachers, actually, I don't mean the teachers per se, but I want to believe that we have coaches and teachers. These are the people that we are considering. We want to see what you do. Gone are the days when you go get the certificate and look for promotion, but you don't support the federation in any way. You don't develop the sport. That is now we want to have coaches who are in the field, coaches who are training the youth. We want to empower them. We want to assist them to be doing the right things. I don't say that, I don't mean that they are not doing the right things, but we want to also help their expertise, so that they also feel appreciated. They can see their product going to higher levels, because I believe the potential is there in this country. Yeah.
Yes, and of course, looking at the league, this is where much of the talent comes from, and that's the first door that you go to when you're picking players for various assignments in national teams. But how do you talk about the relegation and promotion of the league? I remember we spoke, must have been last year, and you talked about plans of having a system of promotion and relegation in the league, which has not been existing for some time now.
Yes, actually that's one of the challenges that you're having, and I want to believe now the trend is coming up so nicely. We've seen other leagues, we've supported other leagues to come up.
Yes, regional leagues.
Regional leagues.
Yes.
I know we have the Mount Kenya region, we have the Nyanza region, we have the Rift Valley region, and the coast, I know very soon are starting their league. Once you have all these leagues and all the regions are represented, now we are going to revert to what we had planned, whereby we have promotions and regulations. But we're also praying that the league gets a sponsor. We want it to have the lower tier, the higher, the premier. We must see the difference in terms of rewards, in terms of the quality of the teams that are going to be there. Definitely we're going to reduce the number of the teams, and then we just want to motivate we want to give them reasons to fight to be in the Premier League. Yes.
And of course, that means that we'll not have perennial winners.
No. Why? I don't think whether it will really affect the winners.
Yeah. For the teams that are winning will win, right?
They will win. But you see, once the motivation is there, I don't think whether the perennial winners is because of others are not motivated. No.
Yeah.
I think
it's how well they are prepared.
Yes, they prepare well. They are passionate, and also the support they get from their sponsors.
Yes.
I think.
And of course the struggles of the self-sponsored clubs in the league, Jaji.
Yes. That one is there. But nonetheless, as a federation, we consider that a lot. And you talk to the teams, we give them support, we support them, we give them waivers, and we are really very lenient to them. But this does not water down our league. We just try to make sure that handball is for everybody. Let not finances, let not sponsorship lock you out of this sport. Yes.
Clubs like Boomerang, you know, formed by friends who are in the same school.
Yes, we have Boomerang, we have the former players of Strathmore, we have the former players of JKUAT. All these, because they're passionate about this game, they come up with the clubs of the alumni of where they're coming from. And normally we sit down and agree on how they're going to operate. The terms and conditions are usually different from the clubs that have sponsorship, and we explain to the managers of these clubs the reason why we need to work together and also assist the teams that are not sponsored. We have like Black Mamba, we really support them, and that is why you see them at times even participating in the regional league. Yes.
Yeah, and of course they are former winners as well, former champions.
Oh yes, they are still champions. It's only, I know at the moment their performance is not very good, but I've seen what they are doing now. Soon they'll be back. But we are supporting all the teams that do not have sponsorship. As a federation, that is our work.
Yes. And maybe thinking about making the league more attractive and so that European sponsors, what's being considered?
First and foremost, what we have done as a federation is we are coming up with a system whereby the visibility issue.
Yes. And
I really want to appreciate the media in the sports media houses. They've really supported us. Of late, we are really visible. Our league is covered. When you look at any event that you have, it's well covered. This is one of the things that we now talk to the potential sponsors about the possibilities of being visible. I talked to I talked to one of the CEOs of our teams in the league, and he told me that he was so surprised. They had actually set some money aside for advertisement, but when he looks at the kind of mileage he's getting through handball, he can never allow the sport to die. Because when you quantify, what they see in the media,
covering the team, that means that the team's performance is good also.
Yes, essentially, it's not even the team. It is now the brand. They're actually selling the brand. That corporation is visible in a very positive way, and they appreciate it.
Yeah, and how does the Kenya Handball Federation feed off from that now, from these clubs that, you know, they enjoy that publicity, but now how does the federation?
I'll give a very simple example. When we had our Super Cup, I approached one of the corporations, and I told them that we have an avenue of you people coming to market even your products, and it was very easy for them to agree. They came and they said, okay, what we'll do now, somehow we'll also support in terms of hiring of the venue, because it gives us an avenue to also market our products. This is because they've already seen the way we work with them, and for sure the feedback was very positive, because now they got orders from as far as Kitale. We had a team from Kitale. So when this team came with the officials, they realized, oh, so this product is also from this corporation. And this is how now we keep on building. We want to have it such a way that whenever we have our activities, let's allow our clubs, if they have anywhere, if they have anything that they can display, let them come and have their tents also. Yeah.
And this just to encourage them. And also the relegation player for Judge, when will it really, what's the federation exploring? Maybe 2 seasons or 3 seasons?
No, actually, we're targeting 2 seasons. I know for now, this year, it might not work, because when you look at the kind of activities that we are having, I'm even afraid that the league might extend up to around June. Because from the Africa Games, like now when you resume in February, we'll have started training for the Africa Games. You see now the teams, most of the players are out now for the Cup of Nations. Then from there, when they come back, they go for the Africa Games in Ghana.
Yes.
And this will really affect our league. But we are trying to make sure that it ends on time. So after this season, we'll now be able, at the end of the season, we normally have our meetings, we'll now be able to strategize and plan and see how we can work out. We agree that if we are starting with the 18 teams, let's have the 18 and then the rest who are because you have 22 for the men, so the rest will now go to the lower league.
Lower league, yes. And in this case, that means that there will be formation of the national league, where the teams from the regions also get to the nationals and maybe and ultimately into the Premier League.
Yes, this is now what we'll be working on. We make sure that we sustain the Premier League, but also come up with a formula now how we're going to promote and also how we're going to make the competition at this lower level effective. I know most of the clubs, they join the league because they want to brush shoulders with the big boys and the ladies in our league. But we'll have to make them understand, for you to be up there, you also need to
fight for the position for yourself. It's not just being picked and being organized, then you get this person,
because you have money you can sponsor yourself. But surprisingly, when you look at, we have secondary schools that participate in the league and they do well. I remember like last season, Hospital Hill, they were beating senior clubs. I remember Strathmore was a victim. I think NCP also was a victim. And this is quite encouraging. You see, Okumu, what we federation considered when we were looking at this league, there's a problem of age cheating, especially to the age group competitions. So we say that other than doctor our documents, let's allow our youth also to play with the older players, to play in the league, so that when they meet the older players from Rwanda and Uganda, they are still very comfortable. And that is what we are doing now.
Preparing them. This year, do you have the Hospital Hill back in the league?
Oh yes. The league is still on. Remember, it just took a break because of the festive and because of the Eastern Central. We'll be resuming, I think, on the 18th of February. And Hospital Hill are there. And furthermore, we will need them because we will be going to Djibouti for the under 17, under 19 boys. So we have already started the preparations. In February, that's precisely on the 10th and 11th, we'll be in Kericho for the Kericho Open. But we also want to have the selection of the youth team so that it can be all inclusive.
Yes, indeed. And Africa Games, what Kenya's prospects?
I know this time around our chances are quite high. Just the way I predicted about our performances in Tunisia. During these games in Ghana, I'm sure we will get medals. Both teams. I've looked at the teams that have qualified, the teams that have been considered, and I'm sure the worst that we're going to get in both teams is bronze medal. And of course, Charles Omondi, from technical director from the Kenya Handball Federation, speaking about the Kenya Handball, the relegation and promotion playoffs in 2 seasons. Of course, he says that the league will be implementing that particular provision. And also, but what's at hand right now is the Africa Olympic qualifiers that's happening in Cairo from 15th to 28th. Of course, the top teams will be getting their chances, their tickets to the Paris Games, and Kenya is facing Angola. That's their first match on 17th. Then, of course, play Tunisia and wind up their group campaign against Nigeria. Wish you all the best, Jaji. I know you'll be joining them in Cairo. I'll be joining them soon, and just allow me, first of all, to thank the National Olympic Committee. They've really supported this team. I want to thank the PS, the CS, that is in essence the Ministry of Sports. They've really come in handy, and the Department of Sports have really worked. They've given us a very easy time. The support has been assured. Everything has come on time, and I really want to thank them. And I wish to urge Kenyans, let's rally behind our men.
Brian Matthews and the team, right? And wish them all the best. Thank you so much, Charles, for making your time on Sports Check.
Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. And that was our second part of the interviews with Charles Omondi from the Kenya Handball Federation. Kenya is in Cairo seeking to qualify for the Paris Olympic Games. That's the men's team, and they'll play Angola, Tunisia, Nigeria. We'll keep you posted on their performance in Cairo. But don't you go so far. Kenya Curling Federation, as well as 2 gentlemen, will be talking about the AFCON that's unfolding in Cote d'Ivoire. They'll also be here. But coming up next is the Kenya Curling team in our set next. Don't go too far. Keep watching Sports Check.